All right, let's talk about a car you've probably never even heard of, or maybe you've completely forgotten about it. The AMC Eagle. This car right here, it literally invented an entire type of vehicle we all drive today, the crossover SUV. Wild, right? So the big question is, should you actually buy one, or is it a definite buy?
Yeah, you heard me right. This isn't just some funky-looking old station wagon. It's the OG crossover, the blueprint for pretty much everything that clogs up mall parking lots today. But let's be real, inventing a whole category and being a smart buy 40 years down the road, totally different stories. So, is this a piece of history you can actually park in your driveway and enjoy, or is it just a massive headache waiting to happen? Let's dig in.
Okay, so first things first, the original crossover. And man, was it decades ahead of its time. To really get the Eagle, you gotta picture the scene in 1980. American Motors, or AMC, they were in big trouble. The big three, GM, Ford, Chrysler, were just crushing them. They had no money for new cars. But they owned Jeep, and that's where things get interesting.
So what was this brilliant, desperate idea? Well, it was the AMC formula. Car comfort plus four-wheel drive capability. It's so simple, it's genius. They literally took a regular family car, the AMC Concord, raised it up a few inches, and shoved the incredible Jeep Selec-Trac four-wheel drive system underneath it. Boom! You get a car that rides like a car, but can handle snow and dirt like a truck. And you have to remember, nobody, and I mean nobody, had ever done this with a production car before.
And when I say they were ahead of their time, I am not kidding. This really puts it in perspective. The Eagle debuted in 1980. Now think about the cars that you associate with this whole concept. The Subaru Outback? That didn't show up until 1994. The Audi Allroad? 1999. Volvo's XC70? All the way in 2002? AMC was out here doing this a decade and a half before its closest competitor even got in the game. It's just incredible.
And they didn't just stop at one body style either. You actually had a few choices. The four-door wagon is the one everybody pictures. It's the classic, the most common. But they also made a two-door sedan, which is kind of quirky and cool. And then there's the SX4 hatchback. It's this awesome little sporty-looking thing. Super rare now, and people go crazy trying to find them.
Okay, so that's the history lesson. Super important, super cool. But what about owning one today? Let's get into the good. This is the case for ownership because underneath that unique 80s styling, there's some seriously unkillable iron. And at the very heart of the Eagle is this beast, the robust 4.2-liter inline-six. If you know anything about old Jeeps, you know this engine. It's a legend. Now, let's be clear, it is not fast. We're talking about 110 horsepower here. But powerful isn't the point. This thing is tough, like anvil simple, tough as nails, iron block reliable. It's a true workhorse.
All right, so the engine's a tank. That's the good news. Now we have to talk about the bad. And listen up, because these aren't just little quirks. These are the critical flaws, the deal breakers you absolutely have to know about. This is the stuff that can turn this dream car into a financial nightmare.
And here we go, problem number one, the big one. The single biggest issue with an AMC Eagle is rust. I can't say this loudly enough. Think about it. They built a four-wheel drive car, sold it to people in the snow belt where they use tons of road salt, and they didn't really bother with rust proofing. It's a recipe for disaster.
So if you're looking at one, you have to be a detective. These are the critical hotspots. You get that car up on a lift, or at the very least, get on the ground with a flashlight and something to poke with. Check the rocker panels under the doors, the rear wheel arches, the quarter panels, and for the love of all that is holy, check the floor pans and the frame cross members underneath. If you see major rot in these spots, walk away. Just walk away. It's a goner. Okay, let's say you find a rust-free one. Great. Now you get to deal with problem number two. The infamous Carter BBD carburetor. You've got this legendary, tough engine, and AMC bolted this piece of junk to the side of it. Seriously, this carb was a nightmare from the day it left the factory.
So what does that mean for you when you're trying to drive the car? It means headaches, constant vacuum leaks so the engine never runs quite right. It loves to flood itself with gas, so you'll be sitting there cranking and trying to start it on a cold day. Good luck. It is just a constant battle.
Now there is good news. You can fix this. You can rip that Carter carb off and throw it in the trash. But it's going to cost you. You're looking at anywhere from $500 to $1,500 to swap on a better carburetor, or even better, convert it to modern electronic fuel injection. Honestly, if you buy one of these, just assume you're going to have to do this. It's not an if, it's a when.
All right, flaw number 3. And this one's a bit ironic, isn't it?
The whole reason you buy an Eagle, that awesome Selec-Trac four-wheel drive system, it's got a major Achilles heel.
So here's the deal. The actual transfer case, the big metal part, it's pretty much indestructible. The problem is how it engages the front wheels. It uses these little rubber vacuum lines, and after 4 decades, what do you think those lines look like? They're cracked, they're brittle, they leak. So you're stuck in the snow, you pull that magic 4-wheel D lever, and absolutely nothing happens. All because of a tiny leaky rubber hose.
Okay, so we've covered the big, scary, bad stuff that can stop you in your tracks. Now let's talk about the ugly. This is the stuff that probably won't leave you stranded on the side of the road, but it's the daily reality, the weird quirks of living with a 40-year-old AMC.
First up, the electrics. Just expect weirdness. A switch that only works on Tuesdays, a light that flickers for no reason. It's part of the charm. The interior? Well, 80s plastic was not built to last. Cracked dashboards are a given. The foam in the seats has probably turned to dust. And parts? You can get engine stuff, no problem. But a piece of body trim? That unique fender flare? Good luck. You're going to become an expert at searching eBay and junkyards.
Okay, it's that time. The final verdict. We've laid it all out there. The good, the bad, and the ugly. So let's tally up the costs and make the call.
So here's what your wallet could be looking at in the first year. The carb fix or EFI swap, that's a potential hit. Fixing the 4WD vacuum system, another few $100. Maybe the transmission needs some love. You can see how this adds up fast. But look at that last line. Severe rust repair. The cost is potentially terminal. And that's the truth. If it's rusty, the budget is blown. It's a parts car.
And that brings us right back to where we started, the AMC Eagle. Is it a buy or a buy? We've got the incredible history and the rugged cool factor on one side, and the rust, the carb, and all those weird AMC quirks on the other. What's the verdict?
Let's just look at it side by side one last time. Pros. It's a pioneer, it's got style for days, the drivetrain is solid, and values are going up. Can't argue with that. Cons? Rust is your mortal enemy, that carburetor is a liability, you've got daily quirks to deal with, and some parts are basically made of unobtainium.
After all that, the verdict is, it's a buy.
But, and this is the biggest but we've ever had, it is only a buy on these 3 conditions. Rule number 1, you find a rust-free example. I'm serious. Only buy a car from a dry place like the South or the West. No exceptions. Rule number 2, you have money set aside for the fixes. You have to plan on swapping that carburetor almost immediately. Don't even pretend you won't. And rule number 3, you have to embrace the weirdness. You are buying a piece of history, an AMC product. It's going to have a personality. If you can check those 3 boxes, you will end up with one of the most unique, historically important, and just plain cool classic cars you can possibly own.